welcome back. I'm Mini Addiction, and this is episode 2 of A New Beginning, and this is where it really starts to get exciting. We'll be working through the field manual, if the glare isn't too bad, and we'll start some assembly of our armies. We'll work through them up to mission 1, and we'll get a gameplay through on that. I think what we will do is we will go through the various assembly pages, and we'll assemble our armies and our little bit of terrain that we have, and then I'll do a separate video on mission 1 through I think 5 of the gameplays, and just do a quick edit on those so they're not too lengthy. And this is where it really starts to get exciting. Can't wait to get into this and get the cameras turned around here and proceed with the assembly. Okay, welcome back. Got the camera pointed straight down. Beautiful. So, yeah, we're working through Bolt Action's Band of Brothers starter set, and we will be working out of, if the camera will, there we go, field manual. If I just found that the other day, didn't know what to call that book, and there it was right on the end. So let's have a look here. Again, you'll probably hear me say it 1,000 times. I think the photos are just absolutely incredible on everything that I've seen so far. Brief introduction. Talking about the hobby. Recruit, assemble, and paint. Any of us that have been in the hobby for any sort of time, this is not anything really out of the ordinary. Again, great photography. Absolutely love it. Some brief descriptions of World War II, times and dates, that sort of stuff. Really impressive. I like all the color photos that they include, so you have a painting guide that you can, base your army off of. Some Germans there. Absolutely incredible. Again, this is probably redundant for anybody that's been in the hobby for any time, but if not, if you're new to the hobby, and welcome in, glad to see you. Talk about the tools that may be needed. You'll probably have some of them at home already. Again, more incredible photography. Start talking about how the game is played. We'll get more into this as we proceed further into it. Right now we're working on some of the assembly steps, basic concepts, pin markers. They talk about everything. Okay, so anybody that's come out of a different game system like myself, this is just incredible. Clearly numbered, called out what they are, both German and US. That's spectacular versus just a number and a vague line drawing of the figurines. They even take it a step further with the US and the German sprues. So here's the US sprue. And I will say one thing about the sprues and the mold quality. Very little, if any, mold lines to be cleaned up. Just a little cleanup where they actually attach to the sprue, but they're so clean. It's absolutely incredible. But again, falling back to why I'm so impressed with this so far is, so we're working through mission 1 in First Contact, and it's 3v3, and they color code your first 3 on US and German side, and they highlight them on the sprue, which is so handy. Man, the thought that went into this is just mind-blowing to me. Anyway, I've nipped them out. Orange, blue, and green. Piled them up. I've got Private Orange. Focus camera, work with me. Assembled already. Might do a little gap filling where the arms meet the shoulders. I think this will be the test one. I'll prime, see how it looks, and then we'll move on from there. But yeah, I'll probably do a little gap filling where the arms meet the shoulders. I tried to hold them as tight as I could when they glued, and that's the fitment. But let's see if we can get the camera to work with us here. We put the pack on, we put the little shovel on, 2 arms, and his head, and then just attached him to the base. The bases are included. Plenty of bases. It looks like there might even be more than you'd need. I think I might have had 3 minutes total time on this figure cleaning up. There were a couple little mold line marks, and then where I nipped them off with the sprue. That's incredible. Anybody that's been in the hobby knows that if you get a mini this size, you could spend an hour or 2 per mini cleaning them up, even before you get to assembly. So I don't know. The German sprue, I've only heard, I don't know for a fact that it's an older cast and tooling, but they're just clean. They're just spectacularly clean. I was pressed to find any mold lines whatsoever. So I'll continue building these 3 out. Actually, all 6 of them, the 3 US and the 3 Germans. And instead of doing a 3v3, what I think we'll do is we'll continue on. There's the scenery that they give you, so I'll build that out also. Talk about what you need to know to play Mission 1, destroying unit, end of game, victory, that sort of stuff, everything involved with the Mission 1. Then they move on to 2, which we double our forces, so we build them out again. And then it'll be 3v5 on that one, it looks like. And they bring some terrain in on that, the terrain house that we built, so that'll be fun. And then 3, white to their eyes, they call it. Looks like that's going to be maybe, that's 5v5, it looks like, how they got it drawn there. And we'll play through that. And each step along the way, I've noticed that they add more and more of the gameplay into each scenario. So mission 4, that you get to pull the pin markers in, and we're pinned down, sir, is the name of this one. American, they're pinned. That German set is pinned down. So it's absolutely incredible how they work you through a simple 3v3 up until now here they're at step 5. They're adding the armor in. And they give you, again, the painting schemes that you need, or you can use. You don't need. You can use. So mission 5, they walk you all through that. First turns, the ambush. They call out everything on the game mat that's provided. So that's, again, everything that you need is in this box, which is just incredible. And then I think mission 5 is, nope, All Out War. To mission 6, you'll finish building all of your 2 armies, and then they get more into depth. They talk about the unit profiles and how to set that up, and that's anybody that's come out of tabletop war gaming, you're familiar with this sort of board layout. And they tell you where to put the ruined farmhouses, German half track. Spectacular, just absolutely spectacular. The thought and effort that went into designing this for a first-time player, and everything is in the box. That's just incredible too. Even the rule book. I don't have anything to base this off of, but seeing the size of this rule book, size of my hand versus the maybe official rule book, which is probably 8 by 11, guessing, normal book size. This, I think, is going to be incredibly handy just for the size. Takes up less footprints. And again, incredible artwork included. Gets pretty in-depth. This will be, once we get comfortable with the gameplay of our starter set and start expanding into full-blown armies, that rule book I can see definitely coming into play there. Then it turns into the painting guides, which is handy to have for people who haven't been in the hobby and new to the hobby. Basing options. I kind of like the Ruined City base myself. They call out all the paints that are needed for the paint schemes, which is very handy. Vallejo, and Army Painter. Where to apply, they talk about brushes. We all probably have our favorite brushes by now. Close-up artwork. Spectacular, just spectacular. Again, more paint schemes. Paints needed or recommended anyway. Some more artwork, phenomenal. And again, they follow through with the vehicles, shades, everything that you need to know, painting schemes. I'm not sure if it has the decals or not. I haven't seen them in the box. They could still be in the box, but if not, they lay out everything clear, black as white. And then it goes on and talks more about next steps after conquering, maybe, Band of Brothers. Next steps, they talk about expanding your armies. Again, the artwork is just impressive. Different units, armored vehicles, tanks. Talk about other nations. Japan. Incredible. That's all I gotta say. Someday, maybe. Not going to hold my breath on that being in the States, but someday, maybe. You never know. This is just the beginning. WarlordGames.com. Love it. Super excited. Can't wait. I will make some build videos and include them in this video, or if they get lengthy and wordy, I will make a tutorial on that. Pretty happy. Turned out well. Next will be the vehicles. They call out the assembly on those. Pretty straightforward, it looks like. Again, it looks like real clean, very little cleanup. And the ruins, haven't found any instructions on the ruins, but the pictures are very clear, so I'm sure anybody that's assembled anything before will be able to pull this off. Looking forward to that and painting these all up, getting them looking as they should. Very detailed. Okay. That'll wrap up this chapter, and we will see you soon. Okay, welcome back. We're going to be working on Private Blue here right now. So, like I was saying, there's the focus. Mold lines, can't even see any mold lines. Just, come on camera, just spectacular. We do have a couple where they are attached to the sprue to clean up. A little bit right there. One on his toe. And one on the bottom of right there. I can get it in the camera. Right there on the bottom of the foot. So just a little bit of scraping and cleaning there. Anybody new to the hobby, just a few basic tools. Everybody that's been in the hobby before probably has all these. Set of nippers, nothing fancy, just point, nice sharp, that's what I'm looking for there. Needle nose, just in case. The shovel is pretty small, so might need that to help attach. Choice of glues, there's the Tamiya, extra thin. I use that for little pieces just to get set quick. Glue of choice here in the States for me is the Gorilla Glue. NECA will work just fine. Personal preference on there. This is just readily available and handy for me at the local hardware store, so that's my flavor of choice on that. And some sort of X-Acto knife. I've got several. This one here is more for mold line cleanup and rough cuts and stuff like that. This is my normal everyday use sharp edge. So we just get in here and let's try the zoom here, see how this works. See if we can get it to focus or not. Zoom in a little bit. Like I said, there's just a little bit here where it was attached to the sprue, so I'll just use the back of the knife, clean that up a little bit. Such minimal effort needed on these. I'm just so impressed with Warlord's casting. A little bit of cleanup on the bottom of the foot. He's a pretty dynamic pose, so want to make sure we're able to get good contact there. And there was another one on the front. Camera's not working because I'm zoomed in, of that toe. So we'll just, that boot, I should say. Let's clean that up a little bit. There we go, looking good. Head and helmet. There was just a little bit on the bottom of chin area, we'll call it, or it was attached to the sprue, so we'll just clean this up a little bit. Okay, that's looking good there. Got a pouch for the back, again where it was attached to the sprue, cat fur. Let's knock these big pieces off here. Little bit of mold line on the top of that, maybe just because it was so close. No other mold lines whatsoever. Just spectacular, just spectacular. Okay, we've got his arms. Let's see, where were they attached? Right there. Do this without taking a trip to the hospital. There we go. Beautiful. There's the other one right there. Doesn't take much. Cleans up really nice. And there was a little drop of something right there from casting. So I'll just carefully, there we go. Smooth that off on the gun strap. Beautiful. Get that off. There we go. This little shovel is now on the floor, so we'll have to find that. I'll circle back to that. Let's zoom back out a little bit here. Okay, so the shovel obviously is going to get attached off screen. So let's try these. Let's fit these, see how they look here. Okay, is that? Nope, that's a strap on the helmet. Okay, so that's going to be nice. Right like that. Try to find the home spot just so I have an idea. Okay, it's happy right there. I'm happy. Little drop of super glue here. Give it just a second to set up. There we go. I like that. If we needed to make a minor adjustment after that, now would be our time, so perfect. I see the pouch, or backpack pouch, I guess it would be, on Private Orange. It was a little tough to find its happy spot, so let's see what we got here. Right about there, above the belt line. He's got a belt line, so we'll keep it above that. Make sure it's, can I focus on this small thing? Because it does have a flap. There we go. Briefly. So I want it orientated just like that. So with the more rounded edge at the top and the fuller part of the pack at the bottom of his back. So I think for this one, I may use some Tamiya on that just to get it in place and set. Let's see. Top is there. Okay. Now with the Tamiya, it's not my favorite or my go-to because it actually melts the plastic. And if you get it on your fingers, you can leave a fingerprint or smudge the plastic. So I'm pretty sparing with it. I'm happy with that. It's in place. Let's put a little bit, make sure we got good adhesion. Okay, that'll work. Cap it up so I don't have it all over the desk. Okay, let's have a look at arms and weapon. Oops. There we go. Just be gentle for a few minute or two. Okay. Placement looks good there. Okay. Little on that side. Okay, so if the pack comes off, I'll reapply it. Let's see how I can pull this off without getting fingers super glued on. Okay, that he will need a little gap filling on him. He's already fully glued in there, so that's okay. Little bit of extra hobby time involved there. Not going to complain about that. On that shoulder there, a little fill in. Okay, let's get him stuck to a base so then I can get the shovel and get him applied. Little super glue. Okay, I'll have to do some little cleanup from the sprue on that. Give it just a second. There we go. Yeah, I just wonder if maybe if I'd have left the pack off and maybe use my little clamp on the shoulders. There's private blue. That's all it took. Literally, that was mold line cleanup, what little bit there was. A little bit of fit and finish. I think that's just a little bit of cleanup there. Once the glue, nope. Very happy. So less than 10 minutes. Probably around 5 minutes per model. And it would have been done if somebody didn't drop the shovel on the floor. So right on. We'll keep working on. We'll go to a private green next, then we'll start on the Germans, and we'll just keep trudging along in this project. Super excited. Glad to have everybody here, and we'll see you soon.